What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we will be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to USD. I know we're doing it again, but I want to follow up with yesterday's video. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Turn on post notifications, giveaway at 5,000 subscribers for some Crypto TV merch. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So obviously, we're going to be doing some technical analysis, and we're going to be looking at when the potential next bull run is coming for cryptocurrency. We're going to be looking at different key resistances and supports and kind of judging where we could see a nice bullish movement. You know, I'm going to show you XRP and why that kind of is going to reference a lot of the other coins and how that they could potentially follow, you know, Ripple. Are they foreshadowing? We'll find out. But the other thing I want to talk about is an article I found, which actually is targeting more of the older generation. So I'd like to say if you're older than like 30, I'd like to hear your opinion on this. I'd appreciate it. So I'm definitely going to show you guys this article. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. But let me read it first. So this says U.S. market crash expected as household income explodes. Will millennials flock to Bitcoin? So obviously, a lot more of the older generation who actually own houses will know more about this than me, but it definitely affects like my parents and things. It says, for the first time in history, U.S. household wealth has surged above the 100 trillion mark, fueled by the rise in the value of stock and properties. However, analysts say the unsustainable growth in household wealth could cause a crash, which may lead millennials to flock to cryptocurrency. Very interesting. In September, U.S. household wealth reached 100 trillion, and ostensibly, it seems like a positive development for U.S. markets. But in comparison, the stagnation in actual U.S. household income, it is quite evident that the rapid growth rate of the U.S. household wealth cannot be sustained long term, similar to the Bitcoin bull run at the end of 2017. So what's interesting too is they compare it to a bubble, which is interesting because we've talked about this before in regards to another, you know, asset, cryptocurrency. They've also called a bubble for shooting up that quickly. And I guess it was a bubble. You know, we may see higher highs later on down the road of, you know, Bitcoin and Litecoin's, you know, life expectancy. But for the meantime, it was a correction at that. It did shoot up to prices that it shouldn't have shot up to, unless, you know, the retail investors got involved in it. But it says the difference, according to the mold, the U.S. stock market experiencing one of the strongest bull markets in history, and the real estate market continuing to increase in value led to an abrupt increase in household wealth. However, if household wealth cannot be backed by stable income, then the market will be vulnerable to a major correction, similar to cryptocurrency. The difference is likely to be accounted for by the surge in the value of financial or other assets, equities, bonds, property, and frankly, everything from vintage cars to art to wine to baseball cards. And this is one warning that at some stage or another, collapse in financial markets will sweep around the globe. So be aware of that. Saying viability of Bitcoin as an investment. It talks about why cryptocurrency is a very important thing and it's not going away. It's only going to get stronger. It also says why it targets a lot of the younger generation. The millennials, me, it's something that a lot of people talk about. I was actually walking around my college today, and as I was in the lab, I overheard a few kids talking about cryptocurrency and the price levels they bought it at. But, you know, it was kind of alarming to me that just random people were talking about cryptocurrency like it was nothing about when they bought it. And, you know, that should have been like that whole saying with the stock market. And I think it was Bill Gates or something like that. When you hear the newspaper boy talking about that stock he bought or something like that, that was an indication to him to sell off. And, you know, to hear people still today talking about it, it's interesting. And it definitely meant to me like there's a lot more people that that know about this that shouldn't know about it. You know what I mean? Like a lot more people are aware of this big boom, and that's why we're seeing the extreme overinflation, because of the amount of people that they told and informed on the news that it's due to correct very soon. Otherwise, let's jump into some technical analysis. Definitely let me know what you think about this article in the comments below. I'd love to hear the older people's opinion or the older generation's opinion. But otherwise, a very interesting move in cryptocurrency as of right now. So as you saw in the title, we're talking about where we could see a potential breakout in when's the next bullish movement in cryptocurrency, Litecoin and Bitcoin. So honestly, it's this line right here, this high-low middle moving average that's coming across. We've tested it not only once, but twice within the past, I'd say 3 or 4 days. And now you'll notice that we are actually below this high-low, this downtrend, this yellow downtrend. So what we really need to do is obviously stay above this yellow downtrend, retest $55. You can see we're at like $54 right now. We need to retest this, get above that, and move up to that high-low MMA and finally break through that, which we've had so much trouble with, and then start using it as support. And I know I skipped this, but I do want to look at this because I do think it is quite important. Bitcoin is up 1.3. A lot of coins are up. XRP up 17%. We're going to talk about that and why it was called that breakout. Litecoin up 3% at $54. Tether up 0.2. Cardano up 8. Very nice. But yeah, otherwise markets do look quite well. But going on to Litecoin again, I'm waiting for the coin. We need the price to get above 55 and we need the price to get above 56. These are acting as a huge resistance right now. You can see we did bounce up off of that, which is very nice, but you can see how we've used it as a resistance in the past. So we do need to break through this level, this 55, start using it as a support again, and then try to break through this downtrend right here, this high-low MMA that's coming through. And if we can get above, 56 or whatever that high-low MMA is, we should start using that as a support. And then we could potentially shoot up to, $70 per se. RSI looks really good on the 4-hour for Litecoin. Obviously, Bitcoin is definitely retracing. This kind of confirms what I said about this this uptrend right here. So the uptrend that I drew, as you can see, we tested it at the bottom right here at around 6,200, and now we currently retested it again at 6,250. So we are setting higher lows for sure, and we are setting lower highs. So as you can see up here, but the higher lows is definitely a good indicator that we're moving up. In the form of a pendant flag. I do think we're going to touch the top very soon, so I would not be surprised if we see a $66, $67, $6,800 Bitcoin very quickly, probably within the next couple of days. No, sorry, in the next week or two. Obviously not the next couple of days. I guess you could consider it around 14 days. Just that movement upwards to E. This could have been where D went. I'm putting it in between where that point is, but I'm definitely looking for a move to E very soon. Obviously retesting its high-low MMA. It's going to be a lot of downwards pressure, but if things look good and we do get a volume surge, we should be able to blast through that. But I'm definitely looking to see a $6,800 Bitcoin very soon. Obviously, Ethereum found a support at $195, $200, which we've discussed in the past. You can see right here. I think it's going to consolidate further. I think the bottom support is 165, the major support. I think we're going to trade sideways until we can retest that downtrend right here. And then we could potentially pop out if support holds up very strong and move right back up to its high-low MMA, kind of right at around $350. So that's definitely good. I'm definitely keeping Ethereum on my radar. Its RSI is so low, so there's plenty of potential. And then lastly, let's look at XRP. So I'm looking at this on the weekly. I want to show you guys what I'm referring to. This is why I like to use the weekly, because you can draw a better candle. So as you guys can see, I kind of started this here. This is too crazy. This is the overinflation that I'm talking about. Like, as you guys can see, this is the top of the triangle in my eyes. Like, the triangle only went up to $1.36. Everything else, all of this, all the way up to $3.30 was all over inflation. This was all the hype. This was all the media getting into it. But the actual breakout was up to this line right here where we corrected to. This is $1.37. That's the breakout. And as you guys can see, that's where I drew the line starting down. See, it was slightly traded above, and then we're continuing down. Now, as we zoom into, let's say, the daily, you can see where we're actually looking at. And then I'll look at the 4-hour too. But you can see that this point comes down to here at a support at 25 cents, and you can see where we shot out. So lastly, let's look at the 4-hour. That'll wrap it up for today, but you guys can see what I'm referring to. So a little bit harder on this graph with the 4-hour, but we do have this downtrend that's I'm actually going to just use the daily, which was a definite confirmation in my opinion. And you can see, yep, right here, you can see why we're facing resistance here and here. We did trade above, but then fell below it again. We rode the top of it. Found our support at 26, and then we just popped very nicely. We could potentially head to support, so I wouldn't be surprised if we head up to like 40 cents within the next couple of days. Adding in that RSI, you can see we're at 54 on the daily, so there's plenty of potential to move higher. So, Ripple could be or XRP could be a good token to make some some money off of right now for a little quick play. But otherwise, that's going to sum up the video for today, guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on post notifications, giveaway F5K, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace. Let me know what you think about that article.